Okay, so I've been having a problem here with my drone. I'm getting a camera sensor error when I try to run it. So I'm going to turn it on and show you the error that I get. So I'm going to put my phone in the controller, the battery in the Phantom. I'm also going to remove the cover on the bottom so that doesn't have any problems. And then plug in my phone to the remote controller here. First we'll power up the Phantom. Alright, and the remote. Alright, so I have this set up. I'm getting no vision, and then if I go into my overall status, it says camera sensor error, hardware malfunction, contact DJI support for repairs. I've been reading online, and one person had mentioned that I could change the cable that goes to the camera on the drone. So I ordered a new one, and I'm going to try changing the cable before I send it in for repairs if the cable doesn't work. So let's take apart the drone and put a new cable in that I bought for it and see if we still have that message. Alright, so I removed the battery out of the back of the Phantom, and I got my OEM DJI ribbon cable. It's in this bag. I don't know if you can see it there. So to start, we'll flip the drone over, and then there's, I believe, 8 screws on the bottom holding this in. There's 2 here. There's 2 on this side. One up in this front corner. Another one up in this front corner, and then 2 more on this side where the memory card is. So we'll start by removing those. Alright, so let's start with these screws and start undoing them. Just be sure to save the screws so you don't lose them. This is number 8. Alright, we should be able to pop this off. Just be really careful here because these cameras are very expensive, so you don't want to damage anything as you're trying to pop it off. Just kind of pull up from either side. And then what's going to be next is, I don't know if you can see this, there's this bar right here. There's 2 screws. We need to get that off so we can pull the other cables off here. Just be very careful, because I don't know if you can see this, but that's the screw right there. I'm going to go ahead and put that piece back on just so I don't lose all the pieces when I get this off. So then what you're going to do is you're just going to use your fingernail and pop this ribbon cable off and push on the button, and the camera should come right off. So I'm just going to put this piece back on just so that I don't lose anything. Alright, so now we can go and take the drone and set that aside for now. Alright, so now that we have our camera separated, we want to remove the ribbon cable, which goes down here, underneath, and into here. So we're going to need to take the backing off of this, the backing off of this. It's going to come up in here, and then it comes up through here, goes into here. So we're going to have to take a lot of these screws out in here in order to be able to get them all off. Alright, let's start with the ones right here on this circuit board. Definitely want to be careful that you don't lose these screws. I happen to have more screws in case some of these are lost. I'm not sure the exact sizes, but I do have an assortment of screws for DJI drones, but just make sure you don't lose any of this stuff. Alright, so I'm going to take this, set that aside with these other two screws, and now you should be able to just pop this board right up. Yep, just be careful because it is attached to the fan. Now we can pull up these little slots here with your fingernail, and there is some sticky stuff on it, so you can peel that off. Just be very careful because you don't want to ruin anything that you don't have to. I'm just going to use a screwdriver to kind of help pull up some of this tape. There we go. Okay, then that comes right out. And for the time being, we'll just stick this cover, this circuit board, right back on where it was. There we go. We'll just stick it right there for now. Next, we'll work on the gimbal mount right here. So in order to do that, we need to remove these 3 screws here, and then that'll open up this. Alright. Now this is connected in with this other little clip here, so we'll undo that, pulling off the little circuit here, and pull the circuit off and set that aside. Alright, next, in order to get this through, we need to remove this housing right here, which holds the camera. So this will come off, and then everything under here will come off as well. So let's start down with the camera and work towards the middle point up here. When you're doing this, try to keep everything separate so that you're not losing which screws go where and which pieces go where, so try to keep things in a semi-orderly fashion. Alright, let's undo the back here. Same size hex Allen wrench. And there are 4 screws to this backing. And go ahead and gently remove this back cover here. You may need to pry it up a little bit with your finger. Just kind of stick your nail into the little crack that it has here to pop it out. Just be gentle. This cover is attached, I believe, on one side, so just be careful. Yep, it's attached on this side right there, so just be careful with that as you open it up. I'm just going to go ahead and disconnect this piece here so I don't ruin it. And so you'll want to get this piece off, and so once you get all this off, then you can remove the piece from in here. So in order to get this out, I had to pop out these screws, and then there was a big screw over here, and then you can unwind what's wound up here and pull this piece out here. Comes out right like that. You can set the camera part aside as well as the little bearing. So now you can unwrap this here. And then pull it off because it is on the sticky part right here. Nice and gentle. Alright, that's from the bottom. Let's go into the back cover here. 2 screws. There should be 4. I've had to take this apart before, so there's only 2. Alright. Set that cover aside. Alright, it's just this one right here. So there's 2 of them. It's just this one on the side, and then this one just pops right out. Like that. Alright, we'll flip it back around to the front. Continue to peel the sticky tape part off. Again, just be very careful not to break anything. Alright, next, this top cap needs to come off so we can get inside here. Once again, there's just 2 screws. Alright, keep peeling this part off. And then right here as well. Alright, so now it's just this part for the motor right here, and so we just need to pop pieces in here off to be able to get the cable out. Alright, I have gotten it apart now. Just to make things a little easier, I'm going to take these off right here. There's 4 of them, 4 right there. Also, I did double check this is the right part in the bag, so we'll go ahead and open that up once I get this off. So if this new ribbon cable doesn't end up working, the supposed part that breaks is this board right here, but that's why I'm trying the circuit board first to see if I can fix that and fix the cable and see if the cable is the problem. So now that we have it all undone, we're going to start putting the cable back in, and the cable goes back in essentially just the same way you got it back out, the other one out. You just need to be really careful once again that you don't damage anything. So we'll come back after it's all put back in. Alright, so I got my drone back together, and it is working well now. I now have a image signal on my phone, so apparently the ribbon cable fixed it. And while I was working on it, I noticed that, I don't know if you can see this, but this piece right here is torn off. So I think that may have been the problem. There's like 3 layers to this, and the first layer is completely shaved off right there. So I think that may have been the problem. So I'm glad now it's up and working again. I just took it for a flight. So just when you're finished, make sure you put all the screws back so it's all nice and tight and that all your connections are well made. And it's working well now.